Good morning, everyone. Welcome once again to another LinkedIn Live with Adrian and Yan on this lovely Friday morning. How are you doing today, Yan?
Happy Friday! I'm so glad it's the weekend.
Yeah, and once again, for those of you who are joining us on Spotify, welcome whenever and wherever you are. We hope you're enjoying our episodes, and we have uploaded so many episodes there, and there's a backlog. So please be patient even as we upload new episodes almost every other week.
But I'm glad we're taking a break in the end of the year.
We are only 4 weeks away from Christmas.
Is it 4 weeks? I think less. But anyway, we digress. Let's get back to the topic at hand. We have a very interesting topic on an article you read.
Yeah.
And they've come up with some new terminology again.
It's funny because it's actually called dry promotion. I was wondering, what is a dry promotion?
A non-alcoholic one.
A non-alcoholic promotion, the dry. I have no idea. And like for those of us who are on LinkedIn, right now, if you're looking at it, what do we mean by dry promotion? I'm using a picture of a dried up rose, which to me it's
got no more growth.
No more growth. It's dried up and it's insane. It's like
it's not a bad thing.
And that's the big question today. What's dry promotion? And is it a bad thing?
And should we accept them?
And should we accept them? And under what circumstances should we accept a dry promotion?
So let's define it first.
Yeah.
What is a dry promotion?
So according to the article I read, a dry promotion is when your boss gives you a promotion in terms of a bigger job title. Okay?
Yes.
More work, more scope, more stress, obviously.
My question is, how much more work?
It's a bigger title and all its attendant increase in responsibilities, but none of the salary increments. No more. You're not going to get any more money. You're not going to get any more any other benefits as well. So they're basically making you do more for the same amount of money. And if you flip it around, it's basically telling you, congrats, I'm giving you a promotion. Because it doesn't come with money.
Yeah, but it does create a fresh line item on your resume. And on your resume, you have a better story to tell. But then it breeds resentment because you're doing more for the same amount of money.
So that is the definition of a dry promotion. If any of you out there have an experience being dry promoted, it sounds horrible, dry promoted.
There are so many more layers to unravel, and everything, as we've always been saying, is contextualized. It really depends. So there are, right off the top of my head, I'm thinking from the perspective of the employer. I'm the hiring manager. I'm going to test you out first before giving you the entirety of whatever the new role entails, which includes all the benefits, all the perks, flying business class, and the extra money that comes with it. But I want to test you out first. So I'm thinking from the perspective of the employer and why an employer would give dry promotions. Because sometimes until I have completely am risk-free in making a decision to have you take on the actual mantle, I don't want to give you the.
I see where you're coming from, but I would disagree with that if I was the employee, because
Of
your
course.
risk begins when I take on a new job already. It's not. So it's the boss's monetary risk rather than.
It's a psychological buffer, if anything else. It's kind of like, look, let's test waters first. And usually in the mind of an employer, if I'm the hiring manager, I do this for a short while because I know that it's not sustainable. Because if I take advantage of you for too long as an employee, and I'm like, hey, I need you to take on this. Let's call it a stretch assignment. I'm going to give you this new stretch assignment to run, say, some special project. And if I continue to take advantage of you, eventually you'll cotton on and you'll leave.
Yeah.
So as an employer, I think I would be smarter than that.
True. I mean, if you're looking at it from an employer's
it does not
standpoint,
make sense for me to dry promote someone in order to breed resentment and then have that person leave, unless I'm a real bastard, which is not.
Then it's a different story
It
altogether.
happens.
So back to the question, is a dry promotion good or bad? And the answer, as always, is it depends.
So I'm speaking from the perspective of the employer. Why don't you tell me what you think if you're the employee?
If I'm the employee, I think once again, it's a whole basket of parameters to jump in and to think about. Number one is it's always the cost benefit analysis, right? If you come to a point in time where, for for example, your boss comes in and tells you, and this is maybe you belong to a small, medium-sized MNC multinational company that's set up an office in Singapore, and your boss comes in and tells you, hey, congratulations, you're going to be promoted to director, and you go like, wow, yeah, here are the directorship forms for you to sign, and you know there are inherent risks involved, director's duties, laws, and you're going to
Liability
be
clauses.
and you're going to be hung up to dry if they run off and they misbehave.
Yes.
So that kind of risk without its attendant increase in salary or even if it's token, I think I would say no.
And then I'll go a little bit deeper with on that argument, on that trajectory. Even if there was a monetary component to it, if I'm strung up to dry, I'm strung up to dry regardless.
Yeah.
And so I think we need to consider the two separately. There's the monetary component, but also the job description and the function. And so if we can divide the two and separate the two, then it becomes a lot clearer for any individual, myself and as an employee, to make a clear decision. So I'm going to look at the promotion and take it in its just
in its entirety,
measure it in its unique form, forget about the money for a bit and go, okay, do I get to leverage my skills? Am I going to gain all these other non-monetary benefits, such as exposure, new contacts, new learning, new people, new skills, and an experience, and a line item on my resume that's going to be leveraged for the next job.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that.
If it helps your career, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
So once again, if you fall back on a particular heuristic you want to deploy, is it going to help me in the long run?
Yes.
But even before that, are there attendant risk? Example, you get promoted to run additional project.
Yes.
And it's a high profile project that if you don't do well,
everyone dies.
Everyone dies.
And we've got lots of stories.
They'll point the finger at you. It's like, oh.
Yeah. You took this project on and we know you didn't do well. And even though you did it, you took it on without the additional compensation. So effectively, you took the poison chalice, you drank the poison water, and then you died, and you didn't even get to benefit your dependents because you didn't get more money out of it. So that would be wrong.
So once again, it all depends. So you need to take a step back. Maybe you get a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle, and then you go, cost, benefits, plus, minus, pros, cons. And sometimes it is difficult to articulate everything or to see beyond the around the bend, beyond what's in front of you. Come talk to us, info@careeragility.org. We run career clinics for short 1 hour consults. If you have a problem like this or a challenge or something happening to you in your career, come talk to us. We'll be very happy to share our wisdom and knowledge with you.
Yeah, at the very least, we'll give you the frameworks to make those decisions, because there are a lot more variables involved that perhaps you are not aware of. Like we had a client recently who was offered a directorship, right?
Yes.
And there were a lot of other considerations that he didn't quite consider, didn't know about it.
Yes.
But having had a couple of conversations with you, it kind of like, it made sense. I think I'll decline. I'll decline this honor for now because there are certain things that were not entirely transparent.
True. So once again, draw a line down the middle. You got to approach it very mathematically and rationally.
But even with the line down the middle, what are those variables? Every human, every individual is going to be different. So depending again on the stage in your life, maybe you do need the job title because you look very young, and without the job title, the doors don't open up for you, and customers don't want to see you.
But
but if you're older, it's a different story again.
It's true. It's one deciding factor for me if I were to be offered a dry promotion is I would actually find out whether or not I was asked politely.
Right.
If it just pointed you go and do it, no? And then it's like, you're throwing additional responsibility to me without even asking me nicely whether I wanted it, whether it's going to align with my needs. I'll be a bit upset. I'll be more inclined to say no.
Okay, I'm going to take that and I'm going to go one more layer because there are very nice but vicious people as well. So I can very nicely ask you and couch the narrative as if it was a privilege that
You are the chosen one.
You are the chosen one. I can only trust you to take on this project because you are the most amazing team member.
Flattery works.
It works. And so as an individual on the receiving end, I'd recommend that you kind of dig a little bit into the agenda. Is it because there was no one else, or is it because this line manager or the leader really thinks that highly of you? Because it's one of the symptoms, by the way, of a true promotion is that when your leaders start giving you more responsibility, it doesn't have to be an actual change,
In
like a
title
big
or nothing official.
like window dressing with all of the frills, right? It's kind of subtle, like, okay, hey,
I like that point.
There's
I like
this
that
new
point.
client that's coming on, and I think you're the best person to handle it. It's not a major shift in your responsibility. It's a micro iota more of the fact that I recognize you for your ability to take on a more difficult client or a larger project or something a bit more complex. It's an indication that I trust you.
And I like what you just said, because if you're being too sensitive about it, then you can look at any additional increase in responsibility as, there's a dry promotion. Then that's not true.
It's not.
It has to be a quantum leap. It's really going to be an actual skip level type of
That's right.
game-changing kind of
Yeah.
level. Then that's what I call a dry promotion. Just because the boss gives you another project doesn't mean it's a dry promotion.
That's
it means
right.
it's called work.
Yes, it is. It is work, and as we always say, the indication that there's trust, and perhaps with the additional responsibility, there's an indication there's a true promotion at the end of this journey.
And
Yeah.
sometimes it's just a stepping stone to getting, like what you just said, that true promotion at the end of it.
On radio yesterday, you were talking about it was a comment from a listener who said that in the civil service they have a very rigid method. There is a promotion in terms of job responsibilities with no money increments, and then there's a season when they do the banding increments, and those banding promotions come with it's assorted perks. And I can see why they might want to do that, because if there is a responsibility upgrade, then it's an indication that there will be a monetary upgrade, in a couple of months' time. I understand why they want to separate the two, because again, like I was saying,
they call it a redesignation.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's a funny terminology. But I can see a lot that there are organizations that like to do that sort of thing as well. Perhaps there's a reason for it, because they want to separate the two, so that we know that your motivations are not solely because of the money.
Yeah, it's true. So when do you accept a dry promotion?
I think when you know that there are benefits beyond the money component. So I mean, think about it. There's also this other quantum. If I'm very junior and I'm making very little, a dry promotion is not fair. But if I'm very, very senior, the money is already sort of there.
Yeah, I know.
And like another 10% isn't going to be, I'm sorry, it sounds terrible,
not
but
gonna
another
be
10% is gonna not gonna make a massive difference to my lifestyle. I think we have to consider that as well. And so if you're thinking in a very like hourly rated worker type of environment,
that is true.
then the additional responsibility to make me take on the manager's position, and then I have to look after all these other things, and like the stress per dollar is exponential. Then the answer is no, I wouldn't take it on. But if it were an additional assignment, and I know I've got the bandwidth for it, and it's interesting enough for me to want to do it, and then I'll take it on.
So let me ask you a question. Okay?
I think it has to be contextualized.
What's the difference between a dry promotion and your boss asking you to double head?
I don't know if there's a difference, but I will look at it from the perspective of how I can change my story. So if my boss asks me to double hat, I'm absolutely going to write that line item on my resume, and I'm going to use that and leverage that for the next job, and that next job's going to have a quantum leap in pay.
So
That's how I'm
it
looking
helps
at
you
it.
in your positioning and
Absolutely.
your career narrative.
Yeah, can you imagine if I'm like Southeast Asia right now, and you give me Australia, New Zealand to run, then I've got the whole of South Asia. It's a good line item. So my first line item is Southeast Asia, and then it shows that the dates continue, by the way. So listeners, if I can just help you kind of write this out in your resume, in that role you'd have two lines in that job title. So you have the company name and the dates, and then there'll be two job titles. and those two job titles kind of overlap, meaning that the sub dates for each of those roles kind of continue.
Cool.
So you'd have job title 1 from today to current, and then your promotional job title 2, just above that, with the same overlapping dates. It's an indication of progression in your career,
Actually, it
which
is,
is what
and
everyone
trust
looks
and
for.
growth, right?
Yeah, exactly. And even if I don't get more money, I know that if I can stick it out another like 8, 10 months, 12 months, it's a great job for me to use to sell myself
Yes.
for an APAC role.
And I think it's good to gain that additional experience as well, because imagine you're handling Southeast Asia alone,
Yeah.
and you want to progress as your next step into APAC, covering China, Japan, Korea. It's highly unlikely that a new company you want to join is going to give you whole of APAC, especially the same size. So just by inching your way, by double hatting and taking on China, Japan, Korea, even if it's just for 9 months, it acts as a bridge, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And that's the gap that I think a lot of executives have. I mean, if you're a Southeast Asia person and you're like, you know what, I want an APAC role, but how do I make that leap? Yes, like you said, inches. You use little inches.
What do you call that? Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Baby
Yes,
steps.
baby steps. Yes,
Baby steps.
one step at a time. But we all know that there are bad promotions, there are bad dry promotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, come to think of it now, back to the question about difference between double hatting and dry promotions. I think double hatting is basically you still got your old job, but they give you a bit something extra to another role to handle. A dry promotion is literally you take your boss's job, I guess.
I don't know.
don't know.
Taking on extra tasks. And then the question, I guess, for our listeners is, do I get the new title as well? So can I, but my title doesn't change. And so, hey, hang on. I'm not even getting the benefit of the window dressing.
Yeah.
That's
true.
And so my recommendation to all our listeners out there is to functionalize your role in your resume. It doesn't need to be a proper mandate. Like there are some job titles that are weird sounding. So if you functionalize your job title, you're going to be just fine. And you can put a little comma and say, okay, job title 1, comma, Southeast Asia. And then when you have that new role, it's the same job title, but you put comma, Southeast Asia plus ANZ. And so that would be an indication of progression and increase in responsibility.
For those of you out there, especially if you have a lot of other more questions, we have a fantastic one-day event coming up on the 13th of January in 2024, where we're going to have a full day. It's called the Career Success Workshop. It's going to be held at SPH. It's going to be an amazing full-day event in person. I'm so excited.
It's going to focus a lot on your strategy, on sustainability, on, I think, paying attention to your career for 2024 so that the rest of, hopefully the rest of your career is a lot more paced, sustainable, strategic,
Enjoyable.
Rational. Enjoyable? I don't know. But it's you're going to get some, at least work towards the job satisfaction so that you can really enjoy the really important things. Like gardening and cycling and
it's true, and it's a great chance for you to strategize and plan your career so early in the year, because it's January, and I'm sure that you'll be learning a lot of interesting things. So we're going to talk about how to achieve a balanced and successful career. We're going to talk about how to land your dream job, not just in terms of advertising, clicking to advertise ads, job ads. You're going to start talking about how do you access the hidden job market, how do you get promoted, and how do you increase your visibility to your bosses so that all the good projects are going to come to you. So
and how to negotiate for more salary.
It's so
So
exciting.
this is a live event, so refreshments, lunch, tea provided, and it's at the SPH Auditorium, 13th of January, 9 a.m. Book your calendar.
Come to our website, careeragility.org/happy at work. If you have any questions, just feel free to drop us a note. There are limited early bird tickets, so hurry up and book your seats now before they're all gone. Now, back to the topic on dry promotions. So, if your boss gives you a dry promotion and you look at it and you know it's a terrible deal, it's a bad deal, stinks to high heaven.
If you know it's a bad deal, I think we need to figure out how to make it a better deal. If you're going to be rigid and you decline this, then you also probably are in danger of not being chosen for other juicier projects.
That's true.
So we have to be a bit more strategic and look at the whole game plan. The chessboard has got multiple angles and multiple players. So it's not always clear cut, and there's always room for maneuver.
Unless it's a clear cut, definite.
You
This is
know,
the poison chalice. This is gonna kill me. I don't want
I
to
beg
do
to
it.
differ. Certain poison chalices, because there's no opportunity without disruption.
Okay, once again, I see where you're coming from, but if it's a poison chalice and you feel that you can take the kind of poison and survive, then it's fine. But if it's something that's out of your scope, out of your scale, out of your depth, then it's
Yeah,
just
I
sink
mean,
you.
then I and if there's no one else to take it on, I would have an ask. I would have a lot of asks from senior management, and the biggest one would be headcount, resources, and time. So if you know, as with anything, it's possible if I have enough time and resources and support, and get it in writing, and obviously find the soft skills that comes with influencing without authority, the stuff that we work on all the time with
Yes.
our clients. Because how do you mobilize resources is by people believing that the project's going to succeed, everyone's going to look good. So then you've got to start using every tool in your
Every
arsenal
trick in the book.
to try to convince everyone that this is a project worth doing, or it's a project that you should not continue because it's already like flogging a dead horse. But you know, I like to always
You're such a good soldier.
no, I'm always thinking of how can we do this in a manner that there must be a reason for it. So the poison chalice is there because maybe the previous person who took it on was incompetent and you know, he rubbed everyone the wrong way.
Okay.
Then there's
So
a
if
poison
you have
puzzle.
a hope in hell to get it done right, then I guess you can do it. But once again, no, if it's very clear, I know for me, if it's very clear, it's out of my league or something I really don't want to do,
Find a way to decline it
I'll
nicely.
decline it nicely.
And make it. Oh yeah, well, I mean, again, this is gonna. There's so many ways.
You
to
can say
decline.
no. Basically, what we're saying is you can say no, but in a nice way. If you're having difficulty saying no in a nice way, come talk to us. We will.
But you hear what I'm trying to say, right?
I agree with
I
you.
think 75% of the time, I will probably say yes with some conditions.
Mm.
There are very few, I think, clear-cut reasons for me to want to turn down a dry promotion. Seriously. Yeah, because
agree. I agree.
it is like how in a classroom setting, if the teacher says, hey, I need you to help me bring the books to the thing,
No.
it's because the teacher sees that you're the responsible one, is not going to like throw the books into the river. You know what I mean? They're not going to task someone unreliable to
go and do that.
the things.
So it's a mark of trust, right?
It's a mark of trust, and even though I'm like, oh, you know, yeah, she's using free labor, or you're feeling a lot resentful. But if you think about it, beyond that, having done enough favors for said teacher, eventually she's going to give you
What extra marks?
the plum projects.
Extra marks.
I don't know if she gets to put a word in, you get to become the prefect, or you get to become the monitor.
Maybe,
you get
yeah, maybe.
you get some like
You get some
awards,
brownie points.
school award or
brownie points.
something. You know,
So once again,
good karma lah.
I would agree with you. Okay, if you're given a chance at a dry promotion, and as long as there's no downside to it, I think you should say yes, because it's a stepping stone up.
Yeah, but don't just say yes because you're not a doormat.
But
That's the thing.
yes, correct.
You
How
know?
do you say
Yeah.
yes and
How do you say yes and show the amount of effort? Because it's all about the visibility.
Yeah.
It's all about the leader seeing that, oh, it's so easy for him. Oh, that means he's been underutilized all along. No. Let that not happen.
oh, because after that you're gonna get another dry promotion.
Yeah,
Another dry
exactly.
promotion. It's
And
like,
and you know the eager beaver was going like, yeah, let me take it on, and then I finished it yesterday. Then like, hang on.
wait a minute.
So this dry promotion is no skin off your nose.
Yeah.
It means you've been lazy or you've been taking time out from the company.
Yeah,
and,
what have you been doing?
So you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Come talk to us. I've got some tricks up my sleeve for you.
So
for you.
another question is now is this: if you're looking at saying yes to a dry promotion, what else can you ask for besides? Okay, you can't ask for money because they're not going to give you money.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's just the basis of the dry promotion. Manpower, you can ask for more
yes,
manpower.
headcount.
What else can we ask for? You think?
Support from seniors, and obviously, while you ask me to do the task, I'm going to make you busy as well. You know, it's like the teachers who give holiday homework. It's the same difference. Like if you give me the task, I'm going to make you busy together with me because you're the leader. The buck stops with you. So you're giving me the job, you're giving me the extra additional responsibility. I'm going to probably suck a little bit more of your time and figure out how I can utilize you as my leader to pave the way for me a little bit better, open a few more doors, get those meetings going so that I can get the information I need to make things faster, so that we're in this together and I'm not just, you know, being there, the scarecrow that gets shot by the snipers. That's very important.
So you're asking for support, ask for resources, ask
Huge.
for people.
Yeah.
Ask
And the support from the senior management is the one that gets things going, isn't it? So it's when you are isolated and trying to lead a team that there's no army behind you, you're the first one to die.
Yeah. So, but besides that, what else do you think we can ask for? I'm just curious. I'm just thinking, if any of you out there, listeners, if you are thinking, what else can you ask for? And if you have any ideas, just drop it into the comment section. But for me, I would ask for time as well.
Yeah, always.
For more time.
Yeah, but I mean,
Because
especially
if I still have my own old job to do and this is a tag on.
It's true. So one very typical example for most of our the clients that I've been working with is, for example, your Southeast Asia head of sales, for example. And so your markets are mature: Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia. And your boss says, "Oh, Vietnam's opening up." And this is very typical. So now Vietnam's been gifted to you, and you have to open that market. You've got to start to churn the soil, plant some
Planting the
seeds,
and everything.
go get some business partners, get some meetings, pick up the one client because the market's opening. And suddenly it's taking up all your time away from your current mature markets. So you need to start delegating. So you've got to start gifting tasks in parts of Singapore, parts of Malaysia, parts of to other lieutenants, and then we have this virtuous cycle going because there's succession planning, there's growth for not just yourself but the team as well.
So you start feeding the
it's
people around you.
it's a good thing, and once we bring home the bacon, then we can start splitting the profits.
The one thing I do believe also is that always negotiate. Wherever you are, you're free to negotiate. And even if you want to say yes and use it as leverage to negotiate something, even if it's non-monetary. And one of the things I think we should also pin down is to timeline it. If you are having a situation where your boss tells you, I'm going to give you a direct promotion, we don't have the budget right now, but we need you to do this. We're going to elevate your title and your position, but there's no money involved. And then the big question is going to be, when then can the money come in? Or based on maybe in 6 months' time, can we have a discussion? Can we have not just a discussion? Can we have the salary increase in 6 months?
Yeah,
Contingent on KPIs.
And if this initial conversation took place in a few months before performance review, and obviously we know that even though as a leader I will agree, say yes, we'll definitely review it at the performance review season in August. Today is March, and then in August it really depends, isn't it? Did you do well in the 6 months, or did you not? Can you imagine if Vietnam completely bombed, and then in August you go like, I want my extra money, and I said that's not gonna happen.
Like what Mark Cuban says, sales, chaos, all. So if you generate the sales, if you got successful, then I know you can negotiate. But if you're not successful, so whatever it is, make sure that you're strategic in the first place, that you are confident of doing it before you accept any increased role. But once again, the level of confidence is very subjective. Some people may feel like I need to be 100% confident, I take the role, and then what happens? They decline every role because
that's a very good point. And I was just thinking about the negotiate part, right? That you were saying, can you ask for a dry promotion? Why should it have to be initiated from the leader? Why can't you put up your hand and go, hey, I've done this.
That's a great point.
It's great already, but I feel I can be doing more. This is how you grow, because if you initiate that conversation, I will see that you've demonstrated the ability not just to think ahead, but you're strategic and you're motivated, rather than being a sullen, petulant employee who's like, you just give me more work.
Do I have to eat my broccoli? Do I have to eat my beans?
Right? So if you can initiate that conversation, then the dry promotions will come. But again, you've got to be that you have to engineer it. I think that's the big one.
I actually like what you just said.
Yeah.
So you heard it here on Career Agility. what the
Initiate
answer is.
it. Ask for it.
Ask for a dry promotion. In fact, I think, in fact, come to think of it, a dry promotion is risk-free for the organization.
Exactly, because
So-
it becomes a stretch assignment for you.
Yeah.
And a chance for you to dip your toes in a specific area and see
Yeah.
whether or not it's going to help or hinder. And maybe it's kind of like an incubation, and you might get a chance to work with other teams,
Mm-hmm.
figure out whether or not their product line is better, maybe their people there are nicer. Then
Maybe
when
the
you want
boss
to
is nicer.
and when you want to maneuver over, it's an easy skip,
Yeah.
hop, and a jump.
Yeah.
It's because you've built bridges
Yeah.
with the other divisions in the other countries.
Yeah.
And again, don't look at all these negatively. You know,
Yeah.
it's not always bad. There must be.
Don't listen to what the
Yeah.
internet says. It's
I don't
dry
know, it's
promotion
like,
and get angry.
Pay me for the money. You pay me, then I will work.
Yeah, bad advice.
I
Bad
think-
advice.
I think there
like
is
quiet
time for that.
quitting, things like this are all
I think
bad.
there's time for that, but there's also a lot more of the things that you can do to earn the brownie points and accelerate your own career.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you have bandwidth. I mean, of course, if you reach a stage in your career and you're kind of like bogged down by obligations and other things, then maybe you don't want to travel so much. And that's a different story. Again, come talk to us.
Yeah. So whatever it is, it's always a matter of it depends. It depends on the current situation. So if you are having a situation right now where you're wondering, hey, does this dry promotion make sense to me? Or maybe you even have spotted an opportunity for a dry promotion. How do you then bring that topic up to your boss?
Maybe we shouldn't use the word dry promotion anymore. Let's just talk about stretch assignments and the chance to progress your career. I'm a big hater for buzzwords.
Yeah.
I don't
Let's
like
banish dry promotions from our vocabulary.
Yeah, we also should banish quiet quitting.
Yes.
I don't know. There's a bunch of terminology, but each time someone coins a new term, it'd be like
Well,
let's shoot it down.
But these are
Let's discuss it.
interesting things that pop up every now and then. So if you want to figure out how to progress your career, once again, join us on the 13th of January next year. It's a full day event. It's going to be food provided, lunch, breakfast, lunch, and afternoon tea is going to be provided with lots of entertainment. And we're also going to launch our workbook, which is called the Career Journal, where there are lots of exercises in there you can use to map out your career strategy, not just for 2024, but for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's like a compendium to the Career Paradox, the Great Career Paradox book that we launched last year.
Yeah,
Gosh, last year.
Last year.
It's a year and a half.
Last
now.
year. It's
It's self-help, and I think it's self-directed, so a lot more I guess structure for you to think about, then you don't have to
Yeah.
spend money on
and
coaches.
it's a nice workbook. I always wanted to launch a career journal. So here we are, since 5 years, 6 years on, that we now have a career journal for you to bring along and carry along. And I think it's amazing. So please find out more, careeragility.org/happy at work, and find
And
out more about
if
it.
you have any questions, just email us at info@careeragility.org.
Yes, and the weekend's coming, Christmas is coming. I noticed there are decorations all over town already.
I don't know. I'm not in the spirit of Christmas right now. I'm doing some spring cleaning, and it's stressing me out. It's stressing me out.
It's
Yeah.
okay. It's
And
okay.
I'm empty nesting as well, so I'm also getting stressy there.
It's okay. But ultimately, if you, once again, the year end's coming, try to give yourself a bit of a break. Don't work too hard. And if you have a vacation coming up, start planning, start thinking about it. And this, for many of the companies, it's a quiet time for the suppliers, for the US.
There's a lot more
side.
goodwill to men
Yes.
vibe in the air.
Yes. So, spend time with your family, spend time with your loved ones, spend time with your pets. And I think it's really important to recharge for 2024 that's coming ahead. In the meantime, have a great one and enjoy yourself. Take care. Bye.